DevExpress Reports, our royalty-free .NET reporting suite, ships with full support for all major .NET platforms including WinForms, WPF, ASP.NET, MVC, and ASP.NET Core. If you're new to the DevExpress product line and have yet to experience the flexibility of our desktop and web reporting suite, be sure to point your browser to devexpress.com/try to download your free 30-day trial of DevExpress Reports today. In this short video, I'll describe our new localization editor for DevExpress Reports. This new feature is set to ship in our version 20.1 release cycle, due out in early May 2020. Before I get started, a quick note. As I mentioned a moment ago, DevExpress Reports supports multiple .NET platforms for both desktop and web applications. In the first part of this demo, I'll create a Razor-based ASP.NET Core application and translate my report via our Visual Studio Report Designer. Later in this video, I'll show you how to translate a report via the DevExpress Web Report Designer. And here we go. As you can see, I've already created a sample DevExpress report and named it Test Report. My first step is to make certain that report localization mode is set to Embed in Report. To verify the selection, I'll activate Visual Studio's Extra Reports menu item and will select Designer options within the menu. Notice that Report Localization Mode is correctly set to Embed in Report. Next, I'll navigate to the Localization property within Visual Studio's Property Grid. I'll open the DevExpress Reports Localization Editor to begin the localization process. As you can see, our localization editor is divided into two panes. The leftmost pane displays a list of languages, and the rightmost pane displays a list of report elements available for localization. Note that the rightmost list offers a number of ways to filter a report's property and element values. For instance, I can filter my list against text and text format strings to reduce the number of values displayed on screen. If you prefer to view all localizable values, simply click Select All. If you know what you're looking for, you can search for a value or property by name instead. Now that I've described the ease with which you can locate properties and element values within our localization editor, let me describe the localization process itself. First, a reminder. Every single report is initialized with the default language, in this case, English. Also note that our reporting platform allows you to translate various properties. For example, you can use the localization editor to translate a report's title, a control's text property, and text format strings, to name just a few. To add a new language and start the report localization and translation process, I simply press the plus button on the leftmost pane and select the desired .NET language from the drop-down list. Though I don't speak German, I'm going to try and translate portions of this report into German. My apologies in advance if I make any mistakes. Once I've added a second language to the report, you'll notice that the rightmost pane is updated with a new column, Default Language. As its name implies, this column lists values for the default language used within this report. To its right is a value column. This column represents the values for my new language, German. I'll go ahead and translate a few strings to German. To save my changes and preview results in the designer, I'll press OK or Apply. Notice that German is now selected for the language property. Since languages vary, you may need to return to the report designer and modify your report's layout. In this instance, I need to adjust the size of a single report control. You may also need to modify margins and paper kind. Once you enable localization mode, DevExpress Reports does not allow you to add new controls, delete existing controls, or move controls across bands for a non-default language, in my case, German. The reason is simple. The goal is to translate a report and not to change a report's entire layout and configuration. These restrictions notwithstanding, DevExpress Reports does allow you to disable a control's visible option for a translated language. Okay, we've added a new language, modified a few values, and changed the size of a single label. Now let's preview our localized report. First, I'll make sure to specify the appropriate culture setting for the application. Once done, I can start the app and view the results of my localization efforts. That's all there is to it. Here's my new report with my translated strings. So far, I've shown you how to localize your report within our Visual Studio Report Designer. Let me show you how easy it is to do the same within our Web Report Designer. First things first, let me open the same report within the Web Report Designer. Once open, I'll navigate to the designer's main menu and select the Localization menu item. The pane that appears will be similar to that found in our Visual Studio Designer. The language combo box includes a list of .NET languages. Let me show you how to create a French language translation. After selecting French and updating values, I'll make a quick modification to the report's layout. The language property will be updated to French automatically. To see my results, I'll switch to the document viewer. And voila, a French version of my report. Before I wrap up, a quick note. When using our Web Report Designer, please remember that language settings are based on selections made in the designer. Application-wide culture settings are ignored in this instance. And that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed this short tutorial on DevExpress Reports and its new localization editor. If you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you have questions, please comment below. Thanks for watching, and thank you for choosing DevExpress.